Good to see you again there, Leon Brassaddle.
What's up?
I said when we started this, I would come up with a new name for you every single time,
That's difficult.
like Kenny Bradden, Leon Brassaddle. But I kind of fell off on that, so I got to get back on. I got to make a list of good Bry names, hockey related.
You don't want to ever overpromise and underdeliver.
It's true, and I've learned that the hard way, especially with kids, man. If you set expectations wrong with kids, it's like you said you were going to do that. I'm like, you can't remember where you put your toothbrush. You remember what I said 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, the amount of times Declan would be like, "Dad, you promised." Like we said we'll talk about it later. That's not me saying I promise we'll do that.
I don't think they know what maybe means. You're like, maybe. They're like, you said you could. I was like, maybe doesn't mean yes.
We'll see doesn't mean yes either.
The other one they always get me on is like, "Can I have 2 seconds?" They go 1, 2, and I'm like, mm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's my own fault because I keep doing it, but I just need 2 seconds. Let me think.
Bunch of jabronis.
Bryside was pretty good though. I'd probably give that like a 9 out of 10, and I'll make a
9 out of 10.
compilation video of all the nicknames you got for him too.
You know
Just
what? I
keep
think I've said
on
that one
shooting
before
them
though.
out there.
So yeah, I think I've said that one before. So I got to come up
You've
with
said
something more
it. You've
recent. I
said it.
have. Yeah,
uh,
I know.
all
So
right, 0 out of 10.
I know. I'll come up with something because then you start reaching and you start stretching and it just doesn't flow. It's like you're forcing it. So I just want to make sure it comes out natural. But anyways, how's it been going? What have you been up to? Anything fun? Just grinding?
Yeah, it's you know what? It's been interesting when you make your schedule and you agree to do certain things and you have to work and it's great. And then there's like a 3 week break in the middle of the season and you don't realize everything's sort of front loaded and you got hockey season going on and then life happens. You got to just things that are unforeseen come into your life, but you just try to move forward and count your blessings. And I'm here in Jersey now, kind of bopping around.
God's country.
And you guys have been very patient with my adventures that I've had to go on so we can make these.
You got 20 mouths to feed, Brian. So I understand. You got to do what you got to do.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good, all blessings. It's fun. How about you?
Same, man. I've been like in and out of sickness. It just, man, I always prided myself on not being too sick or like, hey, I need a day here just to recover and rest and I'll be fine. And I had one where it just like wouldn't go away. It was like a deep chest cough. And I was like, do I have pneumonia? And then, I still sound a little bit like it's not
You
100%, but
sound a little throaty like David Allen Boucher, Bedtime
thank
Magic
you. Thank you. This is
106.7.
my after hours voice. Welcome to One Time All Stars. So I finally had to go to urgent care after like 3 days of it, and I was like, "Good God!" And they're like, "Yeah, you got flu A. We're gonna put you on a nebulizer. Here's an inhaler." I was like, "What?" And it helped. Like it helped clear all this stuff up. But I feel like I'm constantly fighting something, and it's just like enough with this winter. I used to love winter. Now I'm just old enough where like I don't. It's too cold. It's too cold, Brian.
I think I sneezed like, I'm not even kidding. I might have sneezed 300 times on the way on my drive from Boston to New Jersey in my car. I just go and spray that thing down.
I was gonna say, wait that thing down. Now, are you a stifler? Do you like stifle your sneeze, or do you just
No,
let them
dude,
rip?
what?
I don't know. Like if I'm out in public, or I don't want people to think I'm a
Yeah,
jerk
if I'm
factor.
on
I'm
an
like,
airplane, I'm not gonna.
but in your car, it's just,
Oh,
whoa,
it's violent. You gotta let it
the
out,
car
man.
shakes. Oh, I'd love to see that. I'd love to do a little like spectrometer, like a UV light in your car right now of all the spray.
It startles animals. Yeah,
You know what I was thinking about the other day, Brian? Actually, I wanted to talk about is when we played, and now when you're in the media, fan interaction is a huge part of it. Like obviously, it's the most important part. Without the fans, there's no game, and there's nobody watching TV. So like, it is the paramount thing. I wanted to ask you, did you ever have like bad fan experiences in person? Because I know social media is one thing. Social media to me is, don't get me wrong, I love it, like and subscribe. Uh, but it's also a bit of a scourge where if you want to go find something bad about yourself, you can in a heartbeat, and it can really bring you down. And I know people are keyboard warriors and say stuff online all the time, but I wanted to like, did you ever have a bad interaction with a fan in person where somebody came up and said something to you? Because for me, it's like generally been pretty positive, but then every now and then you'll read stuff or hear stuff. You're like, whoa, where's that person? Because I don't get that in real life.
people just forget, and you try to give everybody some grace, but they forget that you're just like a person, a regular person. And my kids go to school. I have to pay the taxes. I have to, you know, do the have to go to the Home Depot, which I love doing.
Maybe
Um,
I'll have time. I don't know if I'll
it
have
was
time.
it was great playing in the NHL and being an NHLer and feeling a little cocky, get a little swag to your life. People see you go down the street, but how am I trying to say this? Like you just want to treat people with respect and you want to have respect back to you. I mean, plenty of people probably didn't think I was a very good hockey player, and those people could have been fans of the team I played on. I appreciate all the fans, and I appreciate if they come and say hi to me. Being recognized is really cool. If they come and, are rude, or they don't really respect your time, or if you're on a phone call with someone back home because I'm on the road traveling and they just kind of grab you, and you're like, you can't just go and grab people in the sidewalk. And, it happened in different cities. I mean, in New York, this tri-state area was always really positive. Everything was great. And down in Florida was awesome. But I did studio work for the Rangers at UBS last week, and we did it on like the concourse at UBS.
Yeah, that's where even the
And
Islanders
there was a
straight down the
fan like
concourse.
screaming words at me and profanities at me. And the game was going on, so I wasn't currently on air working. And I'm like, yeah, come on up here. Say that right to me right now, and I would knock you out. Like this, I don't care. Probably get more fans if I did. Yeah, there's Brian's mugshot because this guy was screaming at him in front of little kids,
And
swearing.
I know your mugshot would be a mean mug, Bry.
Oh, I'd be smiling ear to ear. Like you can't behave that way in a public. There's kids
True.
there,
Yeah.
and you want to challenge a man. I'm here for it. Let's go. The guy didn't come up.
Interesting. And that
Just kept
happened
eating
like
his nachos.
while you're still doing TV. It's like, what? I can see you and I can hear you. Like, what do
Guy
you
was
think is
just
going to happen?
stuffing his face with cheese nachos.
Was he an Isles fan or was he a Raiders fan?
Yeah, he was an Isles fan.
Isles fan. Okay, so he's giving
Yeah.
you the beans because you're a Ranger or something on the Ranger side.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
a
interesting.
person. I'm not a ranger anymore. I'm a human, like civilian. You want to scream at me, I'm going to come back at you.
Yeah, there's two things like you said because like I always try to give time or I always try to say, hey, hi, what's your name?
100%.
And
It's a
and
privilege to play in the NHL.
it is
You
it
have to
is
do
and
those things.
it's great because so many of them are so kind and they just want to talk to you and have a moment of your time. And I think part of it comes because they feel like they know you, right? Because they've watched you and they root for you. Maybe they have your jerseys. Like they feel like they know you and you don't know them necessarily. So, they come up and start talking to you or like they just kind of have this interaction. You have to be like, hey, like I'm Cory. What's your name? Oh, hi, I'm Dave. Like, oh, hey, Dave, nice to meet you. Like now we know it. Now we ain't strangers no more, like Forrest Gump. So there's a little bit of that element. And then
Bubba.
to your point, to your point, Brad, uh, I always talk about that. It's like people come to pay, they pay money, their hard-earned money to come watch you play,
Yeah.
which is like the
Oh,
most amazing
100%.
thing ever. But the one thing that I find funny is this, it's sort of specific to sports, is that like when you pay money and buy a ticket, it gives you the right to behave any way you choose to behave in a public setting. Like you're still around other people in society and children, as you said, and they're people
There
just
are rules.
there are some rules still, and it's like you don't go to the movie theater and just start like yelling profanities randomly, or like you go to a play or you go to your kids' play. It's like you still have to. There's still guardrails of society at an arena, even though you paid money to go there. And people just like they let it fly. Like Jill
Yeah.
would take the kids to games and be like, I'm the guy's husband, wife right here, and these are his children. I hear you like saying these things about him, which I don't really care about, but it's like you're also you're still in the social structure. And it's like once they get into that arena, it's like all bets are off. And I'm like, I never quite understood that as a grown man.
They love it so much. So again, you give them grace. And it is a privilege to play in the league, and there are certain responsibilities that you should be happy to accept. Now, I got all the time in the world for kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Kids, fans of the game, autographs for the kids.
They're the best.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I was that kid. So like that's the coolest part. A little kid knows who I am and like roots for me. I was that little kid once. That's just the coolest part of being in the NHL.
Kind of interested when you guys aren't at the rink. This could be a humbling question, but how often do you guys get recognized? Like if you're at the Whole Foods or something like that, because you see a lot of people, they stop playing the sport and maybe they stop working out as much, or maybe they're not as recognizable. Boyle, you're what, 6'7"? And Schneider, you're a ginger, so
Right,
I feel like
are.
you guys are kind of got some targets that are easily spottable. But
Should we rename the podcast The Ginger and the Giant, Matt?
that's a good one.
Sorry to interrupt you.
And the logo will be the what was that, the Jolly Green Giant or something? The dude on the bean can
With your red hair.
Oh man! Obviously, like I said, guys have some recognizable features. So
Yeah,
Depends, Bry. No, you go first, but
well, I mean, I'm in rinks constantly when I'm
Yeah.
home or I'm in
Yeah.
my hometown. Yeah, I'm part of that community. I grew up in the town I live in now, and so but when I go to rinks, little kids here and there will come up and say hi. It's probably happening a little bit less because those little kids have gotten older. Now we always say hi because they know I'm Coach Boyle now. I'm not the guy that played. And then the younger kids that are coming in every year, less and less know who I am because another year's gone by where I haven't played. But I mean, being on TV, every rink we go into has like our network on,
Yeah.
and kids will come up. I saw you on TV yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, thanks, buddy. That part's cool. But yeah, it's people. Honestly, people recognize me more. They'll come up to me and be like, I know your brother, the priest, or I know your parents. Like my parents are more famous in my town than I am.
Well, your dad invented the butterfly. I've learned after all these recordings.
Protect Artie and Judy at all costs, Brian. They are national treasures.
Yeah, and like so, but I have other family, like cousins and stuff in my town, and it's like there's 25,000 people in Hingham, and yeah, my parents probably know 20,000. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's cool. I love that sense of the community, and it's never ever a burden. It's always a
No, like you said, Brian. Like I'm not in my hometown. I'm in Connecticut where I didn't grow up, but like less so here. But yes, when I go to the Rock at Prudential, yeah, people stop me. Or if you're sort of in that setting, like yes, or at the kids' rink, yes. And I find it interesting or funny because I don't think of myself like that anymore because I haven't played in a couple of years now, right? And it's like you just don't, you're not in that mindset of like, oh, I'm an NHL player. It's been a minute. But then when your kids get old enough at school, word gets around like, oh, Declan's dad used to play in the NHL, and all of a sudden like the parents here and like I don't know that, and I don't really care. It's not anything I need or want anymore. But like, all of a sudden, you'll see a parent be like, "Oh, you used to play hockey, right?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I did. I used to, not anymore." So like, word kind of gets around in a way, especially when you have kids who get to that age, and your son wears your jersey or wears like a something about you or a team you played for, and kids talk and they know, and then their parents find out, and it becomes like a, even Jill's like, they know who you are. I'm like, I don't know that. Like maybe they do. It doesn't really whatever. Like I'll say hi to them or talk, but yeah, so it's more of that versus like people coming up to you and being like, "Hey, will you sign this? Can I take a picture?" Like whatever. But the hockey people kind of know you. Hockey's funny that way, where people who follow hockey they know it pretty intimately, and they'll recognize Brian Boyle or Cory Schneider just as a name. Be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you used to play, right?" Like yeah. So it is fun because the hockey community is so small in that sense that when you're a fan, you're a fan. But at this age too, it's like what are you, yeah, being a fanboy? No, it's like you just have a conversation like a normal adult because that's where we're at. It's not, I'm not presumptuous enough to be like, hey, you want me to sign something? Let's take a picture. It's just like, hey, man, what's up? How you doing?
So would you guys rather have a parent or somebody come up to you and say like, hey, I know who you are at some point during the conversation rather than like 6 months later being like, oh, you played in the NHL? I didn't know that. Like, what would you prefer?
I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. If our kids are on the same team or if our kids are doing an activity at school or something like that. I'm fairly outgoing to some people, and then I go to the school, I don't really say anything.
That's funny, man.
I mean, my kids go to the school I went to, the Catholic school that I went to. My
Yeah.
kids go there, and
Yeah.
the teachers will come up and give me this information, and I'm like, I don't listen. Lauren's at home. You got to email her. I don't know what's going on here. When I drop them off, they're always like 6 minutes late. When Lauren drops them off, they're 5 minutes early. Teachers are like, you really got to get them here on time. I'm like, I know.
I love I think it was they did like a dad's documentary during COVID. Conan O'Brien was on talking. He's like, if my dad showed up at school when I was a kid, it meant one of two things. Either I was in huge trouble or somebody had died. Like those are the only two reasons my dad ever came to my school. So he's like, anytime he showed up, I was like, what did I do? Or like, who's dead? And now it's like, yeah, we're just there. We're kind of hanging out, dads. Except for Brian. He seems like he's not very social. But
well, no, I get there and my kid sees me and he sprints screaming, like so people don't think I'm a complete psycho. Like, yeah, my 4-year-old still loves to see me and I give him a big hug and a kiss, and my daughter does the same. Declan just kind of cool guy walks out like, hey, what's up, Dad?
Let's go. Come on. Don't hang out anymore.
I'm starving, Dad.
Yeah, come on. Go some steak. But to your point, Matt, just like a story about that is like, Wyatt's been learning how to play, and I've been out there with other dads volunteering, and they're great about it. And this one dad came up to me who I know now, but at the time he just moved from Canada. He's like new to the neighborhood. His kids are Wyatt's age. I was like, oh, you're from Canada? He's like, yeah, we're from Vancouver. We grew up there. And I'm kind of like, yeah, Vancouver, right? Am I right? And like, he's just chit chat with me. He's just like, yeah, it's all your kids are what? Oh, okay, great. We'll have to get the boys together. Oh, you live there? Like I live over here. I'm like, oh, okay. Like we're gonna be friends. But like he didn't say anything, and I was like, oh, all right. And literally like 3 weeks later, he came up to me. He's like, I didn't realize you played for the Canucks. I was like, you're that Cory Schneider? I was like, yeah, man. Like, duh. He had like no idea. It was great. It was totally fine 'cause he was just a normal dude, and like our kids are the same age. He lives a block away from me, so like we're gonna hang out. But it took him like a while to realize, like, oh, that you're that cool. Okay, like it didn't click with him right away, and that's totally fine. I think that's awesome because then people, sometimes people try to get to know you for the wrong reasons or ulterior motives. More so when you play it, I would say, Brian, than now because we don't really have a lot to offer anymore.
Oh,
So
I do coach.
that's true. Well, to your point, like
Although
sometimes it's
Johnny
fun
on the power play or not,
what can you do for old Brad? So
I
yeah,
like
it
some
is.
bourbon.
Sometimes it is more fun to meet somebody organically than have them come up and be like, "Oh, you used to play. Like, let's hang out." And it's like, "Oh, let's just hang out because we want to hang out, and you're a good dude."
I've really enjoyed coaching and like I love the guys I coach with. The dads on the team have been awesome because going into it, I'm like, I have enough friends. I don't want any more friends. I don't want any more. And now it's like we're always together, and I'm like, these guys are awesome. We have a lot of fun, and it's yeah, you gotta put yourself out there.
Exactly. I find it funny, bro, how you evolve through life. Where like, I'm sure for you is your home buddies, and then your Sebs buddies, and then your BC buddies, and now your pro hockey buddies, and now it's like your dad coach buddies. And it's like as you get older, you evolve in your friend groups. Like you're always friends with your guys from the past, but then you find new people, and sort of you are where you are. It's like I can't live in the past anymore and like pretend I'm still in college, but like we'll stay in touch, and we have our BC chain. That's great. That's off the chain sometimes, a little too much. I love you guys. Um, but now you got like your dad buddies, your hockey coaching buddies, and your kids' friends, and it's like that's who we hang out with now. And like it's just it really evolves, and you sort of meet so many different people by playing the game and having the experiences we've had. So it's like I said, pretty grateful. Um, but yeah,
I don't know what the hell I would do every day if I didn't have hockey.
be all right, Brad. You figure it out.
I'm so thankful though. So thankful I don't have to figure it out.
I know it is. We are very blessed in that regard that we get to keep doing what we did for a living as a kid.
Yeah,
Not many people get that, so
no.
I'm with you there, Bry. But speaking of somebody who gets recognized quite a bit these days, I'm sure Nico Hischier will be
Hmm.
joining us shortly. Really excited to talk to him because we had him when he came in the league. We'll discuss that. But is an 18-year-old kid, and just he blew me away because that's not that wasn't the first time I felt old, but like I was in my late 20s by at that point, and here's this 18-year-old kid stepping in the league and playing right away on a team that made the playoffs, and I was like, whoa, maybe these young guys are pretty good. Maybe they're better than I thought. So I'm looking forward to chopping up with him here in a minute.
Yeah, no, so cool. I got to, sit near him in the room, and there's a cool setup at the Rock where, we had that one room, we had the practice sheet out the left door. It was left for me, left for you too. And then, the game, you go out the right door to go to the game rink, and just like we're always there. I hated how big it was. I wish it was a little smaller so we could all be kind of,
Yeah, it was good size.
but it was cool seeing him and Brader, and like Pav was trying to find his way, Paul Zaka. I mean, and then like you sign as a free agent somewhere. It hit me the springtime before that. Like, I was in New York for a while, coming up with the Callahans, the Stalls, the Girardis. We're all around the same age. And I signed in Tampa. Eric Brewer's still there. We got Jason Garrison, Val Filppula. We had guys that were older. Stammer was younger, obviously, but he was a captain. He was really, you know, a mature kid. Ryan Callahan was there. Anton Strawman came with me. So I get to Toronto. I felt a little bit old. I got to Jersey. I'm like, I am in this corner with these children. That happened fast. It was like a couple months go by, and all of a sudden I'm the old guy. I'm like, well, okay. And it was a cool learning experience for me to try to keep up with them all and play okay hockey, and then also try to teach them. Listen, this is what consistency is. This is what, and just by doing right. Like we had Greener and we had you, we had Trav who was working his way back from an injury. We had guys, great pros, Halsey who pushed themselves really hard. Ben Lovejoy,
Yep.
just a machine who took everything so seriously to get better.
Yeah, he did. He squeezed every ounce of ability he had. Let's put it
Oh,
that way.
it was
And he worked at it.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was inspiring. So it was really fun and the personality they brought just made a long season feel like just a lot more fun. So fun going to the rink.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that year was fun. That year we made the playoffs with those guys. It was energizing. And yeah, I remember you were like Big Dad Brian in the corner there with the youngins. But I think, it is fun because I remember in my career, sometimes when you're young, you're so busy trying to make it. That's all you think about is you're like, how do I survive the next day? How do I make it? You're not really thinking. You are, but you're not. You're just in the moment, just like surviving. And then when you get older and you've kind of made it and you can take a step back and you have a little more perspective and I had guys throughout my career, like Mike Keane in Manitoba,
Yeah,
was a huge influence on me because it was my first introduction to being a pro, and he had won 3 Stanley Cups. And just by listening to the guy, I was like, "Whoa, okay!" Like, open your ears and shut your mouth. And then, Vancouver, a really good team. You know, Manny Malhotra's of the world, the Danny Hamuses, let alone the Sedins and the Luongos. And I know you had guys. You just mentioned a bunch. And so, like, part of me in retirement, when you're done playing, is like, I kind of hope I had an impact on guys like that. And it
yeah,
wasn't because you're trying to tell them everything. It wasn't like you're like, hey, come here, son. Like, let me tell you. More just the way you behaved, the way you acted, the way you treated people. That I hope there are guys out there who say, oh, I remember Boiler, or I remember when Schneids would do this. And like, that would be like the ultimate compliment these days. Not like, oh, you were a great player.
totally.
Like, did your teammates remember you for the right reasons? And like, that would be more, that I would be happier to hear that than to be like, oh, you were such a sick goalie or you did this. It's like, that's what would make me feel good.
100%. And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our buddy Drew Stafford too. He's
Staff.
great
We could have
pro,
him on too, by the way.
great pro, great guy. Um, yeah, and you're right. It was a cool time. That was, and it certainly wasn't perfect, but I wanted to help them because I knew their career had a lot longer runway and their ability was better than mine ever was or ever could have imagined to be. So it
Yeah,
was
so
fun
talented.
times for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, without further ado, let's bring Nico in and talk it up with him. Here on One Time All Stars, we are thrilled to have the captain of the New Jersey Devils, Nico Hischier. Nico, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
Thanks for taking the time, buddy. We
Yeah,
appreciate you. I know you got a
no,
lot going on right now.
no problem. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely.
Nico, what stall are you in now? What locker stall are you in?
In the stall, I'm still the same spot.
Are you
Yeah,
really?
I miss you,
Yeah,
man. I like that little back
yeah.
corner.
Were you guys next to each other?
Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah, it was Brad was over there too, I recall.
Yeah.
That's funny. They haven't moved you.
No, I'm since day one. I've been in the same stall.
Love it.
I love it.
Never change.
Well, yeah, man, we just want to get you on and catch up with you a little bit. I know it's a crazy season this year with the schedule being condensed and the Olympics coming up, so we got a lot to talk about. But just in general, how you feeling about the year so far? Again, you guys have had a crazy busy schedule, and it seems like every team in the league goes through ups and downs where they win a bunch or lose a bunch, and everyone's just kind of scratching and clawing right now. So where are you at mentally, physically? How's the season been going so far?
It's definitely been a crazy season so far. I feel like you mentioned, I think the schedule is pretty crazy right now, especially because of the Olympics. But yeah, I mean, obviously we started very well into the season, and then like you said too, we're grinding for a while now, and it wasn't going our way for a lot of games. And but if you look at the standings too, like everything is so close, so like it's still everything possible, and I'm trying to have always a positive mindset, and it's still lots of games left, and you guys know it. Like you get in a heater again, you win like 5 to 10 games in a row, maybe, then you're up there again. So obviously we're not there where we would want to be, but I'm still trying to be positive and trying to push the team as much as I can to believe that we're still a good team and that we are able to make these playoffs.
You came over obviously as the first overall. You walked in our dressing room and I mean I don't want to speak for other people, but I'm sure I could speak for Schneids and myself and say, you obviously had leadership written all over you from the start. But I mean, how you handled your first pro year and what you did every single day was just so impressive to us. So it was no surprise that, eventually you're named captain of the New Jersey Devils, which is just such an awesome honor, but not surprising to any of us. Now, I just want to ask you, obviously that's had to be a thrill and a great honor for you. How do you go through sort of what you've gone through? I mean, you've had injuries, you've had some great times, you've had some tougher times as a team. Is it just that what you just mentioned, just trying to get everybody to do what you're doing and staying positive? Like, can you talk at all about the challenges of being the captain?
Yeah, I think there's lots of challenges for sure. I think it's definitely not easy, but I think my biggest thing is just like at the end of the day, I'll just try to do as much as I can, and so I can look myself in the mirror and say like that's all I had. And I think if you get that into your mind, you're in the right path. Sometimes it's just not good enough, and that's just the way it is. But like, never be disappointed about like I just go home and say like I could have done more. And I think I want to like drag that mindset in the locker room and give that to every guy in there, and that's what I'm trying to do. And throughout the years, I think it's like you said, throughout highs and lows, you still learn so much about hockey. Still learn so much about yourself, and yeah, I think sometimes even through the low phases in your career, I was able to learn more. Like for example, when I was like injured for the first couple times, I realized like how much I took it for granted to be healthy and play. So that's just a little thing I learned there, and like on every like step back, I think you can always take something you can learn from, and I think yeah, for myself too. I think I've grown as a player and I've grown as a person as well in those last 8 9 years.
Well, Nico, just following up on that, because as Bryce said, you came into our room as an 18-year-old, and we could tell you could play right away. And what I think we appreciate about you is you took care of the defensive side of the game and the details. You weren't there to put up points and try to make risky plays. You were sort of mature in your game at a young age. But you mentioned, 8 or 9 years, you mentioned learning, you mentioned evolving. What would you tell yourself, when you were 18 or 19 that you know now? Like, what's been the biggest change, or maybe something that it took you time to realize or understand better than when you were a young player? Because when you're young, you're kind of just trying to make it and survive, and then you get older, and I
Yeah.
think some things become more apparent and clear to you that you didn't quite see when you were that age.
Yeah, I think one biggest thing is like I think a mindset and like the mind games during a whole year. I think that's a very challenging part. I felt, especially when I was a couple of years already in the league. I think it's first couple of years you're just out there, you're playing, you're not thinking too much. But I think mindset asset is huge in I think in any sports, and just like yeah, having that right mindset. And for me personally too, if one thing I learned was trying not to be too hard on myself. I think I was a guy that was always still am, and it's still a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I think that's a character thing for me that made me who I am. I was always very hard on myself, push myself, but sometimes it's okay to be nice to you and take a little bit weight off your shoulders.
Nico, are you still what was it? Squatted up? I remember when we were talking in the locker room and you said pretty soon Declan's going to be jumping on Xbox with me and Brader. Are you guys still ripping Xbox, right?
We play PlayStation, yeah.
Oh
Not as
man.
much, not as much as I used to, but we still sometimes gear up with the guys. Yeah.
Is it Call of Duty or are you a
No,
Fortnite
we're
guy?
Fortnite now, but we play Call of Duty as well, but now we're back on the Fortnite train.
Schneids, does Wyatt play Fortnite?
Not yet. We haven't quite gotten him into it.
Oh,
He's like
dude,
all about Roblox and doing that thing right now.
Declan and Fortnite. I got him a headset, Nico. I guess I have to get him a PlayStation.
Brought up with us, yeah, for sure.
That's interesting, Nico. Let me ask you, because like you're the captain, obviously, and that comes with other responsibilities. And you mentioned video games, and I think the league has shifted a lot from when Brian and I played, where we had our fun. You picked your spots, you had team events, team parties, rookie party. Now, is that kind of fall on you? Is
Karaoke?
karaoke? That's right. The Christmas party. But I know it's kind of shifted now with the younger generation and the way you guys play and train. And I'm not saying you guys don't have fun, but does that kind of fall on you as a captain, or do you have a guy like an off-ice captain? We sort of had somebody who, planned events or did team things, and it kind of gets split up, but you guys still, have a good time and make sure you get some team bonding in throughout the year.
Yeah, no, we sure do still have time for have a good time. That's for sure. I think like all the traditions like rookie dinners, end of year, begin of year, like last year we did something before the playoffs, stuff like that. We'll always find time, and I think it's very important too for a team. to bring everybody together, to bring the wives and girlfriends together, and yeah, just be there as a team. That we definitely still have time for.
That's good. It's good to hear the league's still fun. Hey, Bray.
I mean, I don't think the whole league's fun. I think some guys are zero fun. Would you want to go to Colorado and have Nate yelling at you? So mean, it feels like. Like, all right, fine. I won't have that Snickers bar. Jerk. Snickers is good.
It was Mike Camilleri used to always shame me. Be like, you know what you put in your body there, don't you? Like pregame meal, me and pasta. He's like, that's poison. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to have a pregame meal. I don't need to be judged right now.
Everybody's doing it. Nico, I know you've talked about this and it was kind of well documented, but for anyone who missed it, you had some military experience in the last few years, correct?
Yeah, correct. I mean, I did do the Swiss military. Yeah.
Was that just the training and you get
Yeah,
involved with them?
it's like it's mandatory in Switzerland when you turn 18, obviously. But you when you're an athlete, there's a special program for athletes. So first of all, I was able to do that because like obviously they give you time to like practice your sport and don't take you out of your sport. So I was able to do that. And for me, I kind of started doing it when COVID happened. So that was kind of like, for me, I would say perfect timing too with I can be able to do the military. Plus, I need to stay in shape because back then we didn't know if the seasons, like we passed the season and for a while we didn't know like when we have to get back, and the gyms were closed and all that, and the military, that was exactly my year. I would do the military, and the military, they found scheduling to like open up gyms for the military kind of thing, and that was like perfect that I can do both together, and that's kind of when I started it. And then the first year, or you always do it in over summer, so the first time you do 5 weeks in the summer, and then 13 weeks, and then always kind of like 2 to 3 weeks every summer. I just got done, but it's like the first 5 weeks would be like for athletes, it would be like a regular like military program, which you would sleep in like bunker beds, and like they would like teach you some stuff there. But because it was COVID, it was like whole changed up for those 5 weeks for me too. So it was like a special treatment, I guess we got there because we had like our own rooms and stuff like that. So,
Nice. Not bad.
but yeah, I guess I timed it right. But we still like they give us like tons of time to like work out. But it's more like you go like Sunday evening, you go to an area where you have your rooms, and then you kind of check in. And then you have your time slots when you have to be in the gym, and there's kind of a person to control that you're there. And the first 5 weeks, we had kind of like schooling about military because we couldn't do anything practical because of COVID. So we sat a couple times in like back in school and listened, and then the other after those 5 weeks, it's just like it's kind of like a training camp. You just have to go there and have to work out at their facility, and like they give you everything that you need, and you do it till you're done, and that's kind of what I did.
Is it like the movies? Are there like real like hard ass guys yelling at you and spitting in your face and getting real
So
close if you don't make your bed?
no, not for
Not in
us, but
Switzerland.
like because mine was such a like special one because of COVID. Like I've heard like different stories because like guys like my brother, for example, did the same thing, and they like their first 5 weeks, they like they had to like shave their beards and do their bed in the morning. It was like way more strict, and usually it is like that for everyone, but like because of COVID, like we didn't have that. So I would have probably done the same thing, but I didn't do it because of COVID. And but we had to like go grab our like military jackets, and we had different like outfits and stuff like that.
That's funny. I love hearing that because I mean I'm a Swiss citizen. For anybody who didn't know, so I'm interested in this stuff. And Switzerland's like the most decidedly neutral country in the world.
Yeah.
So to hear about their military is really interesting. But it got me thinking, Nico. You mentioned athletes, and you sort of get a little exemption. Where would you rank yourself in like notable Swiss people in terms of athletes? Like is Federer like number one far and away?
For sure.
Is Josi like the GOAT for hockey? Like where would you fall in the Swiss hierarchy? Would you say of like notoriety and fame? Because it's not a big country, and you guys, I don't know if they're soccer players or race car drivers. I know
Yeah,
Wozniacki, the tennis player, she's Swiss. Like, where would you fall in the hierarchy of Swiss athletes?
that's a good question. I have no idea, to be honest, but I think
He's
like
he's not going to answer it honestly. Like
Well, I mean,
Nico is,
I would think he's in the
I
top
mean,
10.
Federer is
yeah,
for
he probably
sure up.
is.
Like Federer is number one for
Right.
sure. Like
Yeah.
I would say, like yeah, we're a small country. I think like I would say top 10 maybe, and because we got a lot of good skiers. It's
Years, that's
obviously
true.
big in Switzerland and some soccer players. But like I think like every hockey player from Switzerland that like plays overseas, he's kind of well known in Switzerland because it's not that many Swiss guys over here.
Is Josi like the GOAT for hockey, or is he like
Yeah,
is there?
yeah,
Yeah. And was
Josi, I would say Josi.
anybody before him that came that was big, or is it kind
I
of just?
mean, Mark Stride was
Oh yeah,
huge
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I think he was kind of like the first player, not goalie, that was showing the way to play over there and be part in a lineup for a Swiss guy. Yeah.
My plan, Nico, was always if I didn't make the U.S. Olympic team, I could always switch to Switzerland, and then they had like Gerber, Abishir, Hiller. Like their only three NHL guys were goalies. I was like, well, what the heck? Now I can't even do
Yeah,
that.
we Swiss goalies were always good there too. Yeah.
How about Schneider's just turning on his country like that so fast? What a
Well,
typical
you
redhead
can't beat him, join him.
cat
I got to
guy.
find an easier path here, Bry. You would
Well,
play
so
for
do
Ireland if
you?
you could.
I know. I would probably do the same thing. I need to play, right? Do you know any of the other athletes that are headed over to Milano Cortina?
Yes, so actually perfect because you asked it because of the military thing. You get together like an age group with other athletes too. So when I was doing that, like we were together with some freestyle skiers, with snowboarders, bobsledding, like stuff like that. So it was cool to kind of like interact with these other athletes and get to know these people. Yeah.
Bro, you just mentioned it. That's incredibly exciting for you in the Olympics. It's what an honor to represent your country. I wanted to ask you because I think European guys view it differently than North Americans. Like when you were a kid growing up, did you dream of winning like the National League championship with Bern? Did you want to win a gold medal? Did you want to win the Stanley Cup? Like what was young Nico in his driveway pretending to do when he was a kid? Because I know sometimes the European priorities, you guys aren't as Stanley Cup focused as we are. So I was curious as to what your dream was when you were growing up.
I dreamed of winning them all. That's what I dreamed of. No,
Good
but
answer.
it is a good question. But I think like obviously Olympics every 4 years, it's hard to win that. Like me personally, I think it's harder for me to win an Olympics game than like Stanley Cup would be more realistic. I feel like because if I want to be a realistic person, because we have a good team for Switzerland for sure. But like if everybody comes, like the other team has some pretty good teams. It's going to be very hard to beat. But I think like meaning wise for me, a Stanley Cup would mean like the most. I would say so because like I think it's just something different when you like go through a whole season with like guys and playoffs too. Like you guys know like how hard that just the whole season is, and then like playoffs. Like I've only been to the second round, so you guys know better there too. Like it's another level there as well. So to winning the Stanley Cup, I think that's what I would rank the most for myself personally.
There's a reason why the first round gets so much play. And there's a number of reasons because there's so many games going on. But the first round, it's like a sprint. It's like its own thing. And then once like the dust settles, right? And then there's only 8 teams left after the first round. It's a little bit more tactical. And I always remember that they haven't played, gone past the first round a few times. It's just like, well, all right, you kind of take a breath and reset. And like you said, it's so hard, 82 games,
Yeah.
grind through it, you get your seeding, and then it's like it could be done in 8 or 9 days, or you could just be like, okay, that's over. Next chapter. I agree with you. It's so hard.
Yeah.
But the experience that you've had in the past, it'll come back to you, which is a cool thing. And don't slow play the Swiss either. Like
No,
you're
yeah.
slow
No, I
playing
wasn't.
it, and they're just like, no, we're
No,
just
no.
happy to be here, and you guys just grind.
No, I don't for sure. Like, but I'm confident. Like we have a good group. I am confident, but we also know like there will be some other teams standing on the other side, and let's say for in the World Championship.
I don't know if U.S. and Canada, like U.S. Canada, just obviously is a big rivalry. They hate each other when that puck drops. Does Switzerland have one of those?
We have kind of like a rivalry with Germany, if I would say one. Yeah.
No, you got to get those guys.
Who do you guys have in net? I kind of forgot. Is it Giannoni? Is he still playing?
Giannoni's still there.
That guy's been around forever. And he's been ripping it up in the Swiss league.
So
he's the best goalie in the world. Nobody knows about.
Yeah, still is good. Yeah, it's still going. Reto Berra and Akira Schmid.
Oh, that's right, Schmitty.
Oh, hips don't lie.
That's right.
Shakira.
A lot was made of like the U.S. had a camp and like Canada had a camp. Have the Swiss? Have you guys been in touch since the team was named? Like, have you had any meetings virtually or plans? Or you guys just kind of showing up?
This summer we had like a kickoff event where they kind of we had some meetings and some interviews and stuff like that, and that's kind of like, I think that's another asset. I think that we should take pride for the Swiss team. Like, we know each other so well already. I think like we're played in already very well. Like, we know each other from like different tournaments. So that, I mean, the hockey world is small. I get that, but I think like team spirit wise, I think that's something we definitely have an edge on some other teams.
I wanted to ask you one more thing. We're running out of time here because we got to let you go. But as the captain, we've discussed, you're kind of the mouthpiece for the team. You get asked almost every game. The media grabs you. How do you find interacting with the media in that sense? Because I think there's times where we want to say things, but we can't necessarily, just because you don't want it to get misconstrued or you don't want it to become an issue for your teammates to have to answer. But people talk about the standard hockey responses. But and I know you sort of came to Luke Hughes' defense a little while ago when the fans were getting on him. So how do you view your role with the media? Like, do you always say what you want, or do you try to be somewhat diplomatic and tactical in what you say and the message that you spread?
I usually try to say what I want, but I also try not to get too much into certain things. But I'm not really afraid to say what I think, but I'm also very objective. When they ask me what I think about the game, I kind of say what I think about the game, and that's it. And if there's like little incidents that I feel like they're trying to like get something out of me, I'm just trying not to like go too much at it, because I think it's fueling the fire and I want to stay out of it. I want to back up the team, and that's what I want to do. And like if I see things like that, and like I'm just all in for the team, and that's what I want to do. And if I think something was wrong, like I'm gonna try to tell that too, and that's kind of what I want to do.
Hey, Nico, I got one for you. Boyle touched on it before the Christmas party during your guys' playing days together, but the fans loved it. I'm going to these Devils games, and I'm seeing broccoli signs, and Devils fans are just eating this up. Social media team is
blew it up, huh? I kind of blew up his spot.
Now that you guys are all together, what happened that night?
Sorry,
take
buddy.
us back, and huge Lil Yachty fan, so good music taste, huh?
Yeah, that was, I remember that. That was a good one. I mean, like Boyle said, I don't think I spoke that well English yet, but I was coming from Halifax, where I played junior hockey, and that was kind of our winning song. So somehow I just was able to learn that song, and it was all of a sudden, I mean, me as a rookie there, was told got to do karaoke, and that's kind of the only song I knew. And I was like, why not? Let's just do it.
Dude, you were spitting bars.
like you said, your English wasn't nearly as good as it is now, but you can still speak it, but it was still a little rough. And then you just ripped off broccoli in perfect English. We were like, where did that come from?
Now he's doing like Busta Rhymes or Twisted.
Busta.
No, because I remember you'd come up to me, Nico, and you're like, can you do this with us? I'm like, I don't even know what that song is. And that was the first time I'm like, geez, I'm the old guy. I'm old.
You had no idea what that song was.
No, and then you did it, and you crushed it, dude.
Right, you know, also didn't help is when you then got up, which was a stirring rendition of "Wanted, Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi. So that might have aged you a little bit too of that group. It was great.
I remember that
you
too.
Really leaned into that one. You were
Man. I didn't practice that either. That was the first time I had done.
That was a good one, though.
He says "wanted" a lot in that song. I didn't realize it kind of goes on.
And you leaned into every one of them, though. I appreciated. It was a stirring rendition.
Yeah, I needed a Ricola from the Swiss Alps to soothe the pipes there after that one. That was a fun night. Oh, God, was that fun. I missed those days.
For the 100th episode of OTAS, we got to have a party and do it again.
A virtual karaoke party?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Let's get to 100 first.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, anyways, that was good stuff, Nico. We appreciate you joining us, taking some time. Again, I know you got a crazy schedule right now with the Olympic break coming up, so we wish you the best of luck. Good luck this week in your games, and we'll catch you around.
Sounds good. Thanks, Schneider.
Thanks, Nico.
Thank you, Nico.
Thanks, guys.
You got it, buddy.
See ya.